Now, the trial has begun in the case against Patrick Akpobolo-Kemi, the former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime and Safety Agency. The Federal High Court, sitting in Lagos, heard how part of the 2.6 billion naira allegedly stolen by the accused was spent. Mr. Akpobolo-Kemi was also accused of defrauding the federal government to the tune of 795.2 million naira. Mr. Patrick Akpobolo-Kemi was arraigned before Justice Ibrahim Buba, along with 3 others, including Captain Ezekiel Agba, Ekene Nwakuche, and 3 companies, namely Blocks and Stones Limited, Kenzo Logistics Limited, and Alkenzo Logistics Limited. In a 22-count charge by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, they were accused of converting a total of 2.658 billion naira between December the 23rd, 2013 and May the 28th, 2015. The defendants pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Justice Buba adjourned the case to Tuesday for continuation of trial. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, has opened its case against the immediate past governor of Benue State, Mr. Gabriel Suswam. An operative of the agency, Mr. Junaidu Seidu, today told the Federal High Court in Abuja that the petition upon which he was indicted for 9 billion naira fraud was an anonymous one. He, however, informed the court that the petitioner could not be located and that the address provided on the petition did not exist. Under cross-examination by counsel to Mr. Suswam, Mr. Joseph Daudu, the witness, also admitted that the emails sent by the EFCC to the petitioner were not delivered because the addresses do not exist. Mr. Suswam is on trial for allegedly selling off shares belonging to the Benue State Investment and Property Limited worth 9 billion naira without the consent of the State Assembly and diverted the proceeds to personal use. All right, now let's cross over to Abuja. And there's Linda Akigbe. Linda.
Hello, Ijoma, and welcome to Abuja. Now, the first Lassa fever case has been confirmed in Ekiti State. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Olurotimi Ojo, who confirmed the case, said the patient, an 18-year-old female student of a school of nursing at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Ido-Ekiti, is currently on admission at the hospital and is in stable condition. Dr. Ojo says one other patient is currently under observation in the same hospital. Similarly, the Delta State government has confirmed its first case of Lassa fever. The patient is a 65-year-old woman from Ifeogwari village in Ayamelunu local council area. She is presently being treated at the Federal Medical Center in Asaba, the Delta State capital. The Delta State Rapid Response Team has put 22 people under surveillance after it was established they had contact with the primary case. Residents in the affected states have been advised to maintain high levels of personal and environmental hygiene to forestall the spread of the disease. Meanwhile, the chairman, Senate Committee on Health, Senator Olanrewaju Tejuosho, has decried the practice of waiting for health emergencies to occur first before intervention measures are taken. Senator Tejuosho, who was speaking during the committee's inspection of the National Hospital in Abuja, says Nigeria has a problem of continuity of interventions and programs in the health sector. The committee chairman also urged the Ministry of Health and healthcare professionals to undertake an aggressive sensitization about Lassa fever and provide preventive measures against the virus. The House of Representatives is seeking the help of the media in correcting the negative perception that the public has of the role of a legislature. The chairman of the House Committee on Media, Mr. Abdulrazak Namdas, made this appeal during a meeting with the chairman of Channels Television Network, Mr. John Momo, and the management team of Channels Television in Abuja. He also called for an unbiased reportage of the National Assembly to avoid unnecessary controversy.
Welcome to Channels Television Abuja. Thank you so much.
A chairman of Channels Television and management staff of the station in Abuja receiving members of the House of Representatives Committee on Media and Public Affairs. The chairman of the committee says the House of Representatives appreciates the balanced and insightful coverage of National Assembly activities that Channels Television provides. He outlines some of the achievements of the 8th House of Representatives.
we've been able to sponsor about 327 bills. Out of these 327 bills, 264 of them have scale over first reading. 40 is already in committee stages. This is different from the 7th Assembly that sponsored about 137 bills as against 327. So you can see the kind of job we are really doing. And we have taken on motion bills that touches the life of the people.
He says the public must be made to understand the relevance and role of the legislature. He believes this is necessary in view of the negative perception that the public has of the legislative arm of government.
Any issue coming from the National Assembly, sometimes the public don't get the right information. They still hold us onto all prejudices about the National Assembly. For example, the issue of vehicles. Since time, the civil service is known for buying vehicles. Local government chairmen buy vehicles. Commissioners buy vehicles. They buy vehicles for commissioners. But when you say you want to buy vehicles, because people give us a serious misinterpretation, the reason being that the National Assembly is the only chamber in Nigeria that houses 360 people at a time, and 109 at a time too. That is the reps and the Senate. So anytime you want to do things for these people, people will look at the number. So people are more worried about the figure, not the function of the vehicle.
The lawmaker says the House of Representatives will continue to partner with the executive and the judiciary to work for the development of the country.
Thank you very much.
Lanre Lassite,
Thanks,
Channels Television News.
So this beautiful
The Delta State Governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, has condemned the recent attacks on oil and gas facilities across the state. He called on all Deltans to cooperate with the security agencies to unmask the criminals behind the heinous crime. In a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary, Charles Anyagu, the governor is also urging security agencies to intensify their surveillance over oil facilities and pledges the commitment of his administration to support all measures that would restore the investors' confidence. The governor notes that these attacks do not reciprocate the good intentions of his government and the enormous resources being invested in transforming the state. He's also asking community leaders and youth groups to resist any temptation to be drawn into these nefarious activities, as this might jeopardize the ongoing intervention of the federal government in the lives of the youths through the Amnesty Office. The Senate plans to pass the 2016 budget at the end of February. Senate leader Alin Dume disclosed this to journalists at a press briefing in Abuja. Speaking on the controversy surrounding the 2016 budget, Senator Ndume explained that an integrity check was conducted on the first 2016 budget, which President Buhari laid in the National Assembly, and the check made it necessary for minor adjustments. Senator Ndume, however, claimed that although the integrity check made the changes necessary, the total budget sum was not affected. Now joining me on the news at 10 to discuss the 2016 budget controversy in the National Assembly is the Senate spokesman, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi. Senator Sabi Abdullahi, you're welcome to the news at 10.
Thank you, Linda.
Now, over the weekend, the Senate, the special assistant to President Buhari on National Assembly matters, Senator Itainang, told us via the phone that President Buhari had sent a letter to the Senate on the 2016 budget, and the letter will be read on Tuesday during plenary. So what are we to expect tomorrow at plenary?
Well, thank you very much. The issue here is there's a communication from Mr. President. But you see, in line with the tradition and convention of the Senate, the content will only have to be read on the floor of the Senate. And so I cannot preempt what the content is because I've not seen the letter myself until tomorrow when it is read to us on the floor of the Senate. However, let me make it very clear that just like the Senate leader said in your earlier report, the Senate is committed to ensuring that we work on this budget so that by the end of February, we are ready to get that budget approved. So what I want to see here is, well, yes, there is a little controversy, but that notwithstanding, I think we are all on the same page in terms of our commitment to making sure that this budget is passed expeditiously.
Yeah, well, you said you're all on the same page, but why are we having this kind? This is the first time, we're seeing this, from reports of a missing budget to a switched budget to a forged budget, all sorts of,
Yeah,
news,
well, I think the issue here is that the media is eager to get news as far as this issue of budget is concerned. And I think in the very first instance, that is what led to the issue of the missing budget. And I have said it severally, that there was no missing budget. What happened when we went on recess was that upon resumption, there was a budget that was submitted. And somehow it was noticed that there was some differences. And I think that was what brought about the issue of missing budget or no missing budget. No budget was missing. But you see, by practice and by the provision of the Constitution, when Mr. President lays the budget, it becomes the document, the property of the National Assembly. And there are processes and procedures on how we're supposed to treat that budget document going forward. And I think this is where some little controversies were generated. But be that as it may, I will seek the indulgence and patience of Nigerians for this communication from Mr. President to be read tomorrow on the floor of the Senate. And I'm sure there will be a similar letter, in our lower chamber.
Okay, Senator Sabi, have you seen the old budget and the new budget, and what are the differences between the two?
Well, I will tell you frankly, because the budget submitted, I understand, is the second version, okay, that was submitted by the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President on, National Assembly Matters, Senate, and it was to be distributed, as we mentioned last week, but unfortunately, because of the issues that arose, that was not, distributed. Mm-hmm. So now there's a communication, and we want to see what the communication, is saying by tomorrow.
So you really can't tell us what the differences are? You've not
definitely,
seen
I've not done any of such. But I want to assure you that, like we said earlier, there was a difference, and I think the communication we'll have tomorrow will clarify issues.
Now, so going forward, how long, when would the budget, the second reading, because it's supposed to go in for second reading, how long, when would the debate start, and how long is it expected to last?
We're still committed, despite the fact that, of course, because there is a communication from Mr. President tomorrow, it has stalled somehow the distribution of the budget documents to senators up to this moment. So tomorrow, when this communication is taken, whatever decision comes out of that communication, whatever issue is flagged up from that communication, I want to trust that by tomorrow there will be, a particular document, budget, that will actually be circulated to senators. And we're still committed to seeing that we earnestly begin the debate, even though it will not be adjusted, because ordinarily we should have started by tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you.
And that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Joma.
All right, thanks a lot, Linda, for that. Now, when the News at 10 returns, World Economic Forum opens in Davos, Switzerland. Our business team of Bosun Omofaye and Harriet Agbenyu are there to bring you highlights and updates of proceedings at the forum. We'll have you on business to join us again.